From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the primetime capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you're feeling the same. Man, what a night last night in San Francisco, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened in the Bucs game last night. The Bucs were able to hold off the Eagles last night. In Philadelphia, you had the Eagles coming in here at 2-3 with the Bucs being 4-1 coming into the game. Bucs improved to 5-1 now, looking like the best team in the NFC when it comes to records and things of that nature. But you still got Arizona, who's 5-0. But Tampa is the defending champ, so they are the landlord until somebody says differently. So last night was a very, very very good game for the team in the first half and in the third quarter, but it seemed like the Eagles just got it together there later in the game because they had themselves they really, really had to be held off late there because they had a big touchdown in the in the fourth quarter and late into the third quarter as well too. And that's what made this game a lot closer than anybody wanted, than the Bucs wanted it to be. The Bucs step out 21-7 lead at the half and wind up getting this game, pretty much getting this game in hand, but still had to hold these guys off. They were pretty good on third down efficiency last night, a little bit over 50%. They went 7 for 13 in that category. Also, 399 total yards last night. Tom Brady threw for 297 in total last night, 34 for 42 with one touchdown yesterday. And then you had also 102 yards on the ground as well, too. 81 of those yards coming from Leonard Fournette. And also Antonio Brown, a guy that people threw away. 93 yards, one touchdown last night. And that was pretty big for this team. So Tom Brady, 2 touchdowns. He improves himself to 18 on the season as well. Jalen Hurts was decent in the passing game. He got 44 yards as well, 2 rushing. So he got 3 total touchdowns last night. Zach Ertz was the leading receiver one last time because Zach Ertz has been traded to the Arizona Cardinals for a late 2022 pick and a young cornerback, Zay Goodell. So pretty much that's a career for Zach Ertz in Philadelphia, and he's going to go ahead and see if he can get some greener pastures here in Arizona. So it looks like we're going to have ourselves a pretty good one. So pretty much we're going to go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and talk about this is a Blue Crew Daily segment. So pretty much we're going to go ahead and talk about the Dodgers. And last night, the Dodgers hold off the arch rival last night and get themselves a epic win to go ahead and win that series last night. Big moment last night. Cody Bellinger, Mr. Bellinger, MVP for 2019, struggled throughout. He's been struggling ever since, right? The guy had a bum shoulder, had to have shoulder surgery, broke his leg as well too early in the season, cracked some ribs. So the guy's been spending a lot more time on IR than he has on the field. So sometimes it takes a while for you to get back into the groove of things, especially with injuries like that he has. So he struggled this season, and a lot of people talked heavily about it, and a lot of people didn't understand why he was still starting in the playoffs and everything like that. Then last night, Cody Bellinger delivered the biggest hit in Giants-Dodgers history, pretty much, because they had never played in a playoff series against each other, and this one went to the absolute last inning until we got ourselves a winner here as well, too. It felt like every time the Dodgers did something really good, the Giants would match that. and vice versa. And it just was epic series. It was great, and it wound up being the series that we all pictured it being. And it did end on a controversial situation, but I felt he went over. I looked at it several times, and I think that he went over as well too. And you can't argue with the umpire who's actually on the field, and you're a person watching from home, and you're listening to an announcer who's watching the game from a very high spot, and he's also watching it on TV. I know because I'm in the media, and the media is not sitting right there in the dugout. The media is sitting like literally like right below the 300 section in most occasions. So 300 section means that you're at the very top of a arena or a stadium. So pretty much yeah, that was a great moment. Dodgers go ahead and get themselves a great win. And I know that LA can rest easy this weekend, knowing that their Dodgers are going to be playing against the Atlanta Braves once again for the National League championship. It's going to be absolutely epic. And game game one starts Saturday as well too. And the Dodgers are actually the road team, but that just means that they have more of an advantage because guess what? They get 3 home games in a row. So it is what it is. I think this series should be a good one, but the Dodgers shouldn't have the same issues that they had in the first time around with them. And you got the Red Sox, another 4 seed going against the Astros, 2 seed. They'll be playing tonight as well, too. We'll talk about that game in a moment. But yeah, great game last night for the Dodgers. Mad Max comes in and saves the game as well, too. Kenley Jensen was absolutely epic when he came into the game because a lot of us felt like, Kenley's going to probably blow this thing, and he didn't. And then also, you got strong innings from Urias, who didn't pitch. He pitched the 3rd through the 6th. You thought that he was going to go 3 through 9, but they did the right thing. He probably would have been faltered maybe a little bit in that end. And then, Logan Webb was absolutely amazing. It was hard to hit the guy. He only allowed 1 run in 2 starts that he had. And the 1 run that he did give up was one of the biggest runs of the whole series, that double that dropped in for Corey Seager, who was also having a little bit of issues with the bat as well too. I think that Mookie Betts 4-for-4 performance though was the difference last night, and that was huge for the Dodgers because it kept the Dodgers confident last night as well too. So there it is. We'll have more for you guys on Monday about this. Series starts Saturday night, actually, for both East and West Coast. So you guys tune in. It's going to be on TBS, and the Red Sox play tonight on Fox as well too. So there it is. There it is. Now we move on, and let's go ahead and talk about the Lake Show. The Lakers looking pretty non-championship like here. Lakers are winless in the preseason. No need to panic though. All right, so I say this because there's no need for you to panic about the Lakers at all, okay? The Lakers will be absolutely fine. Yes, they're kind of going through it right now in preseason, but you know what though? They're getting to know each other. It's a brand new team, brand new chemistry, everything like that. So you shouldn't expect the Lakers to be, the dream team off top. The dream team even needed to practice with each other for a week or two before they got fully comfortable with each other. But this team right here is expected to win, and they're expected to win big. The Lakers have lost 6 in a row. Last night, they played probably their closest game with Sacramento, and a lot of people were like, wow, they lost to Sacramento too. Well, the thing is, Sacramento's in there going real hard. Lakers are in there trying to get in shape. LeBron had 30 last night, looking like he's in mid-season form right now, 12 of 22, 5 from the three-point line, and 4 or 5 from the free throw line. Anthony Davis did well last night as well, too. He had 12 rebounds, and 11 of those were defensive. One was an offensive rebound. Got a little bit under 50% in the field goal range as well, too. They didn't hit the threes last night, but the Kings did. That was the difference. The Lakers also bad night from the free throw line as well, too. Something that they're going to definitely need to work on moving forward. Last night, Kings 21 to 26, 80%. 36.2 from the three-point line. That's the difference in the game. Lakers had 25 assists, 56 rebounds. So, when I'm looking at these stats, it's telling me that the Lakers aren't that far away. It's just one thing that they got to cut down. They had 15 turnovers last night. That's not going to work during the regular season. So a lot of people have to understand, just take your time, be patient. The Lakers should be right there and should be able to have the season that a lot of people envision. They threw out, Golden State's playing them pretty hard. They've played Brooklyn as well too, who literally played like it was the NBA Finals in the first preseason game of the year. The Lakers are about to start the regular season on the 19th as well too, against Golden State Tuesday. So that's going to be next week. That's going to be huge. We are looking forward to it. And the Lakers do start their first 3 games at home. So pretty much, if I do have time, I feel like I'm going to be bringing back my article for the state of the Lakers on a daily basis, so you guys can have something to read, write, and read, and chat to me about things like that. So I thank you guys. So pretty much we'll get back to that, or we'll just talk about it on a daily basis. But state of the Lakers, season starts on the 19th. Lakers go winless in preseason 0-6. I say this to you guys: do not panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. But first 3 home games: Golden State, Phoenix, and Memphis. So there you guys have it. And it looks like it's going to be pretty good. The Lakers start their first 5 out of 7 games at home at Staples Center. So something to look forward to, something to be excited about. So let's go ahead and move forward. When we get back, we will be talking about some CFB Friday Night Lights, and also we'll be talking about the ALCS Game 1 in Houston tonight as well too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back, and up first, we have ourselves a pretty intriguing game tonight. And this game brings back some memories from a few years back. Syracuse and Clemson at Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. Now, this game was played on, I think it was Friday the 13th one year. And what happened, and it was in October as well too, what happened was that Syracuse shocked the world and got a big win over a Clemson team who hadn't lost in forever. But this Clemson team lost their first game of the season. And, they had the quarterback they have in place right now is very similar to the quarterback that they had in place back at that time, too. And that was Kelly Bryant. So tonight they got Schrader, who's not playing that well, who's only getting barely over 100 yards a game passing, but they're a running team. So Tucker, if he's able to have himself a game tonight, this could be a lot closer than the 13.5-point spread is calling for. So pretty much when I look at this, they're saying that, pretty much Syracuse is a team that should be an easy out for Clemson. And this is the reason why they're 173rd when it comes to points against. But they're actually averaging 10 more points a game than Clemson this year as well, too. And that's an absolute shocker, in my opinion. And then they're also averaging more yards than Clemson this year too. This is just remarkable how far Clemson has fallen off. And the quarterback that took his place, Uga Lele, was supposed to be the next coming of, say, a Marcus Mariota or something like that on the college level, and it's just not panning out. I think that guy's probably going to be in your transfer portal very, very soon as well too. So he'll probably be coming back to the West Coast, probably Pac-10 and Pac-12 and everything like that, because if you can't do it at Clemson like this early in your career, you're probably not going to be there much longer. They're going to have somebody to replace you. So, that's what you have to prepare yourself for in this situation. So that's where you have it at, and that's where we go from there. But all in all, this should be a really good game tonight. Over under 43.5. They're saying that there won't be that many points scored in this spot. You got Syracuse, who came off of a great victory over Liberty, beating them 24-21, then dropping their next two in a row. Now, Clemson, on the other hand, has won 3 out of 5, but they did lose to NC State a few weeks back and got an eat out a victory against Boston College. Every single one of their games has been like pulling teeth. They haven't been able to beat anybody by double digits but the team that they were supposed to be by double digits, and that was South Carolina State in week 2. So there it is. This game should be a fun one tonight. Do not look at Clemson as they're still the Clemson that's been going to the CFPs for the last few years. You have to look at Clemson like the team that's vying for a Peach Bowl this year, okay? That's the Clemson that you're getting this year. All right, we move on. Let's go ahead and talk about Marshall and North Texas. This is a Conference USA matchup. Marshall coming in here as a heavy road favorite tonight, and why not? You got Grant Wells, who's throwing for 333 yards per game, was able to throw for 299 last week, threw for 2 touchdowns, but also threw 2 picks as well too, and was sacked 3 times. But it was a tough game. They wound up being ODU by 7 last week at home. So they come back this week against a team in North Texas that's been struggling mightily. They got spanked by SMU, UAB, and Louisiana Tech and Missouri last week. Missouri beat them by 13 points. And they had played a close game against Louisiana Tech in their last conference game. I think Louisiana Tech's one of the better teams in the conference, but they didn't put up enough points to really yield your idea that they can score a lot of points. Their biggest outburst was 44 points against Northwestern State, but in the last 4 weeks, they did get a 35. They did throw 35 points on the board against Missouri, but they're going against Marshall today. Marshall plays a little bit better defense, but at the same time, though, too, you can say that this could be a possible issue for Marshall today as well, because Marshall does have a tendency to get lackadaisical. And I just really do think that this game is going to be much better than it looks on paper, but I think it winds up not being as crazy scoring as most assume it will be. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing. And that's where we go. That's where we go from here. All right, we move on and let's go ahead and talk about Cal and Oregon. Cal and Oregon are going to have themselves are meeting up once again. This is a battle of the Pac-12 North, and you have the Oregon Ducks coming in here averaging 35.8 a game. That's good for 44th in the nation, but they're also giving up. They gave up they're 93rd in the nation and giving up points this year. Now, Cal is not a high-end offense. They're only averaging 24.2 points per game, but they could be in a good spot tonight. Oregon just seemed to kind of be a little lackadaisical when it comes to it, but they are coming fresh off of a bye week. They've lost Verdell for the rest of the season as well too. So there are some things that you do have to factor in about Oregon. But Cal got themselves is right now. Cal is 1-4 on the year. They got absolutely they lost to Washington State last week at home, only lose by 15. The week before, they gave Washington. They made Washington really step up their game. So it seems like when they go on the road, they're a much better offensive team than they are at home. So that's why I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take them. That's why I'm going ahead. I'm not taking them, but this is why I look at this and I say to myself that don't be surprised that this game has more scoring than you assume it should have. You know what I mean? Because you look at this and you say, oh, well, Oregon should keep them in bay. but Oregon is a tendency to give up some points at home as well too. So let's have some fun tonight. Pac-12 after dark. A lot of people enjoy that feature, that segment, that game. So let's see how it shakes out. Let's see how it goes. All right, we move on and let's go ahead and talk about San Diego State and San Jose State. Good old rivals going at it. They've been going at it since the good old since way back. They've been going at it since the WAC days when it used to be the Western Athletic Conference and everything like that. So these guys have pretty strong history against each other. San Jose State, as everybody knows, ran the table last year and wound up winning the Mountain West title as well too. Not so much this season. They're not the same team that they were last year. San Diego State is actually back in charge. They're actually making some moves, making things happen, making things work. So pretty much the situation for that is like this. You pretty much have yourself all right. So sorry about that. Just had to get back to my guy over here. All right. So pretty much all right. So pretty much we have ourselves very, very a very good idea about what to expect here. I think San Diego State should be very good in this spot. I think that they're a team that you have to say, okay, well, the last year wasn't a great year for this team, but this year they've come back and they became, the team that we're used to. San Diego State had somewhat of a very big good hold over this division, so over this conference. So now it's like, last year they struggled. They lost games that they shouldn't have lost last year. So now it's different. So they're playing back to their level, but they've always had issues with San Jose State. It does not matter about what goes down. They've always had issues with this team. Every time I look up, so I'm not saying that, pretty much San Diego State's a lock tonight, but I'm thinking that the way that they're playing, in a sense, they're not playing very well this year, San Jose State. So I would say this. I would say that the best bet for here would be, let's trust the boys tonight. That's what I said. Let's go ahead and trust the squad tonight to have a good night tonight in San Diego State. I think that this should work out for them very well. So hey, it is what it is at the end of the day, and that's going to be our college. That's going to be our Friday night pick for our Friday night group for the Friday Night Lights, and it's a good group too. And then there's a few games going on in the FBS as well too. FCS, I'm sorry. All right, so we have ourselves up next the ALCS Red Sox at the Astros. Red Sox coming in here plus 115, Astros minus 140. I think tonight the Astros have the advantage because they're well rested. They didn't have to go through too much. I know that these teams finished up at the same time, but it seems like the Astros didn't have to play an extra game as well too. And pretty much they come into this one very confident. They have one of their better pitchers on the mound as well too tonight, which is going to be Framber Valdez. He got a little banged up in his first game, but it should be all right. Then Chris Sale also got pretty dinged up in his last game as well too. So this one's going to be good. We got two teams that are in the top 10 of batting all in the season, and they're going to go at it, man. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be nuts. But Houston has the better pitching staff here, and Houston is a favorite for a good reason as well too. Houston has been the quietest story all year. We all know why, because you don't want to put too much spotlight on them, because then when you do, then everybody wants to bring up what happened supposedly in 2017 and everything like that. So, it kind of takes away from how good this team really is. But I think they don't really care. That's the whole thing, and that's the right attitude to have. You don't care. You're just going to keep winning baseball games. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. So there it is. And I feel like this one right here is going to be a really good game tonight. And let me go ahead and get into talking tickets so I can show you guys exactly where I'm going tonight in these games as well, too. All right, so we have ourselves the CFB pick 4 tonight, which is 12-1. We're going to go 13.5 on Syracuse, the under 66.5 on Marshall and North Texas, the over 53.5 on Cal and Oregon, and the -10 on San Diego State tonight. This is going to give us a basic 12-1 ticket right here. And then our next ticket is going to be this. It's going to be the ALCS Bets. We're going to go 1.5 on the Astros tonight. That's a +130. And then also going on the first 5 innings where the Astros are ahead in this game by at least 1 run, and that's going to be another +150 for us on that bet right there. And then I got the Astros going over 4.5 runs team total. So there it is. There it is. So pretty much I want to go ahead and thank you guys so much this week for pulling up and watching the show and everything like that. If I've been helping you win your bets this week, that's an absolute fun, great thing. I love that stuff when you guys are winning and things of that nature. You know, the other night I went ahead and provided the sweep for you guys in the Dodger game. Also provided a sweep for you guys in the Red Sox game the other night as well too. So pretty much you guys just keep following, dude, because I'm always going to set you guys up in the right place, if you know what I mean. So pretty much with that, I want to thank you guys very much. Gonna also go ahead and you guys be on the lookout for my bets all weekend as well too. We got the bets list coming up in the morning, so check the Twitter, check the IG. They'll be right there. Also, we got I'll be bringing back the Dirty Dozen jackpot for tomorrow as well. Rise and Shine pick 6 as usual. Dog Day pick 4 should be in the mix as well, and then we'll have the late pick 4 as well too for all the late games in college football tomorrow as well. So you guys make sure to tune in for that. And then Sunday pick 6 for the NFL and the pick 4 for the NFL as well too. So you guys be on the lookout for that. But if you want to be an exclusive client, as you guys can see on the bottom, you guys can go ahead and hit me up on the Twitter, or you guys can email me directly, or go to my website, primewavemedia.net, and sign up to be an exclusive client. I have all types of different packages on the primewavemedia.net. But to get the end of the year special or the early bird special, you have to go ahead and hit me up directly, and I'll go ahead and I'll situate you and get you everything taken care of for you. And the way it works is like this. End of the year means that you'll have bets until the end of 2021. Now, if you jump into the early bird deal, you'll get bets all the way until the end of the year and all the way until the end of next year. So your subscription would end the last day of 2022, and it has some great value to it. So you guys hit me up if you are interested in that. Like, you have to be really interested in that. I don't have a lot of time just to be talking and stuff. Okay. So pretty much, yeah, because this is my top time. So, pretty much I thank you guys so much once again for tuning in. You guys are the absolute best. As I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. If you got a hunch, bet a bunch. The movement is moving. I am the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, your host for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.